This is a body weight, total body strength class. So we're gonna march it out to warm ourselves up. If you happen to have equipment at home, dumbbells, and you want to use it, by all means, feel free to do it. But mostly I'll be doing push-ups, maybe some burpees, squats, lunges. You can always hold weights for squats and lunges, but we aren't going to be doing things like shoulder presses or a lot of rows because I don't have any equipment, and I'm not going to assume most people have equipment. Right? This workout is about challenging yourself, finding your limits, feeling those muscles burn, and having a good time. If you'd like to play some music at your place, feel free to do that. I have everyone on mute, so I won't be able to hear your music, and hopefully you can hear my voice clearly. All right, let's slow down the march and get those hip circles going here. This is a 30-minute class, but it doesn't mean you can't stop and take breaks, okay? I'm gonna just kind of keep it moving the whole 30 minutes, but anytime you wanna stop, take a break, drink water, by all means do that. All right, one more time on each side, and then we're gonna go into our squats. Taking your feet about shoulder distance apart, maybe a little wider, whatever's comfortable for you. Knees and toes are gonna track in line with each other, slightly turned out. Yeah, just sit your butt back and down. Nice and easy. We're gonna keep the weight in your heels. So moving your weight back. Maybe you can wiggle your toes a little bit at the lowest point of your squat. Give me about 8 more. In addition to dropping our butt back and down, we still wanna try to keep our chest up, our abdominals braced. Reaching those arms forward to help with balance. I said 8 more, right? So maybe 3 more? Oh gosh, I really need to start counting better. So we're gonna do our lunges. You can stay facing forward. I'm just gonna show my profile view so you can see. I'm gonna take one leg back, nice long stride. Feet are hip distance apart. All right, so they're on 2 separate train tracks as we do our lunge. You're gonna bend that back knee down towards the floor, stopping at about ankle height. Good. So both knees are forming about 90 degrees at the bottom. Let's do 8 more. Keep that chest up. Abs nice and tight. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, you can keep facing forward. Whatever doesn't strain your neck. I am turning my neck sideways to see you. But I prefer that you didn't turn your neck sideways. Keep your head and neck aligned with your spine. Good. Knees and toes are still tracking in line with each other, all facing forward. Give me 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go into some push-ups. So today, during this 30 minutes, I'm going to go from lower body, upper body to abs. Lower body, upper body, abs. That way we can rest certain muscle groups while others are going. So we're resting our legs here while we do our push-ups. So you can do push-ups on your knees. I'm going to have my hands wider than my shoulders here. And I'm going to bend my elbows to about 90 degrees. In other words, my chest lowers until elbow height. In order to target our pec muscles, our chest muscles, we want our hands nice and wide. Let's do about 4 more here. Keep those abs nice and braced. Try to have a very steady, neutral, strong, stable spine. Okay, and then finally we're going to do some abdominals. And this is kind of a warm-up practice round, and then we're going to start. So your basic crunch. Anytime we do abs today during these 30 minutes, if you don't like what I'm doing or it doesn't feel great for your back or neck or anything, you want to come back to this base abdominals. All right, your knees are bent, feet flat on the floor. Your lower back is imprinted. Your head and neck is supported without yanking on the neck. So this is always a great, safe way to work your abs. Let's do about 4 more. Okay, back on our feet. So going back to lower body. All right, we did squats and lunges already, but that was part of the warm-up. A lot of variations are going to be happening as it relates to squats and lunges. All right, we're going to get into our squat position, but don't go super wide because we're going to go wider. So my feet are about shoulder distance apart. All right, so I'm going to step wide, wide, more narrow, more narrow. I'm leading with the right leg. So if you're mirroring me, it's going to be right, left, left. Your muscles are going to start to burn out pretty soon because we're not really straightening the legs all the way. So they're constantly under tension. If you feel like you need a little break, but you don't want to stop moving, just stand up a little bit like this. You're still moving with me, but you're kind of taking a little break, and then get nice and low again when you are ready. We're doing constant right leg lead. It's pretty symmetrical anyways, but it does feel a little different. So in the next round, we're going to do a left leg lead. Give me one more time through, out, out, and in. Good. Your leg muscles should be pretty tired. So now we're going to go to upper body while our legs stretch. So we did push-ups on our knees. I'm going to do that again, but this time I'm going to do it open up. So I have my knees maybe about hip distance apart. They're not right next to each other. I'm going to do a push-up and push off into a side plank. Good. You don't have to stay up very long. Open up, reach. Here's the 4th push-up. We're going to aim for 16. And there's 5. The important thing is that you feel challenged. It's not so much about the numbers. If you feel challenged at 8, great. But if 8 doesn't feel challenging to you, or it's a little easy, then you're not really pushing yourself to your limits. All right, maybe another 4 pairs here. Or maybe 3 more? 3 more pairs. All right, 4 more push-ups. So that means 2 more times to each side. And 1 to the front, 1 to the back. And you can do this also on your toes. I'm just showing it on my knees. Good, and then we're going to ab next. I'm going to pick plank for this next one. So come off of your wrist, give your wrist a break. Elbows directly underneath the shoulders. I'm going to go into a full plank, tucking those toes under. After you find the full plank, if you'd like to come to your knees, go for it. But try the full plank first. Eye gaze on your thumbs, and we're breathing. Can't really count to 16 reps here, but we're going to do 8 nice, slow, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Focusing on the breath versus counting seconds. Good, we're not just squeezing the abs, we're also squeezing your glutes and your quads, reaching those heels actively to the back of the room, lengthening away from the top of your head. Give me 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale, and the last one, inhale and exhale. And if you slow down your breathing, what you'll notice is that it takes about 4 seconds to complete a whole breath. All right, and when that happens, you just did 8 breaths and a 30-second plank. Okay, let's go into our lunges. Oh no, sorry, I gotta do this other set. So in our narrow, left lead goes left, right, left, right. There's a second one, and there's a third. So try to stay as low as you can. That's the challenge for the whole time, for the entire 16. So this is 6. Yeah, I'm really trying to count well. So I'm constantly leading with the left, coming in with the left. Yes. Almost there. Let's do 4 more. That was 1. If you need to stand up, and then just jump back in or squat back down when you're ready. Okay, I don't know why, I just can't count. Check out those legs, back to the upper body. So do those push-ups again, and this time if you'd like to try a few on your toes, try it on your toes. You can always go to your knees at any point. So I want my feet about hip distance apart at least. Push up, open, push up. Again, it's not just necessarily about the numbers. I picked 16 reps because it's kind of a mid-rep range. It's not as high as 20. Sometimes you don't feel the challenge in 10. But again, pick your number that challenges you. Man, I started by counting every push-up, and then I started counting every front side, and then I got lost. Let's just do 2 more push-ups total. Or 1 more, actually. Oh, geez. How are you feeling? Your arms feel fatigued? Okay. So then we're back into abs. So we just did a plank. So we're gonna go back to our crunch. Keep that lower back imprinted whenever your legs come up. So here. Anytime your legs are off the ground, just watch that your lower back stays imprinted and stays pain-free. Option to straighten those legs and stretch those hamstrings. Let's do 8 more. So when we're doing our abs, we're basically giving our legs and our arms a break, working on another section of our body. But our abs really shouldn't ever get a break. They're constantly stabilizing, whether we're doing squats or lunges or push-ups. Okay, 2 more. If you're a better counter than I am and you got to 16 perfectly, it's fine, you can stop. All right, let's go into a lunge. So I'm facing you guys. I did the lunges facing sideways, but I'm going to do it facing you guys. I'm going to have the right leg step back. Good. And then it's going to come all the way forward. I will show this from the side as well. So my back leg, I'll turn this way. It's going to go back and then forward. Push off a little bit. Now, sometimes people have knees that hurt, whether you reverse lunge or forward lunge. So if one of those don't work for you, you can do constant reverse lunges. You can do constant forward lunges, okay? But we have a stable leg, so it's my back leg. Push off. So there's 2 lunges, right? Here's a lunge. Here's a lunge. That's a pair of lunges. And there's a 3rd pair. 4th pair. What's also doing a lot of work is that one stabilizing leg. 6th pair. And last pair, the 8th pair, because it's 2 lunges per, and that's 16. Let's go right into the other leg. So now my back leg is moving. I'm counting a pair every time I go back. Try to keep your abs nice and tight. If your arms need to be out for balance, do so. Give me 2 more. And this is the last pair. Good, for upper body. We're gonna do push-ups again, but this time we're gonna try triceps, so hands closer. And after every push-up, since our hands are much closer, see when your hands are wide, you try to lift one, you really don't have any way of stabilizing yourself. When your hands are closer, so just right next to the wrist, right under the shoulders here, you can lift an arm and you still have these other 3 limbs relative close proximity that keep you from falling over. So if you're here and you lift, yeah, there you go, okay? So we're gonna try to do a push-pull. So bend your elbows, Tuck those elbows tight. That's the push and pull. One arm comes up. Pull those elbows back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Back down. Down, push. As you come up, pull the other arm. Push, pull. Push, pull. I know you don't have a dumbbell in your hand, but if you did, it's like you're doing a row. So what you can do here is imagine as you're pushing off, eyes on the ground here, that you're pulling your elbow for that row with external weights, and you feel that shoulder blade sliding in towards the spine. So we just want to do 16 push-ups total. So that's going to be 8 pulls per arm. 2 more push-ups here. You know that I didn't count at all, so I'm just estimating. Ugh, because my triceps are tired. Okay, time for abs. Do another plank. So off your wrist, onto your elbows. We're in that plank again, and we're gonna rock it. So notice my shoulders are over my elbows. I'm gonna point into my toes, rock forward, pull back with my heels, forward and back. Now you might feel a lot in your shoulders and not so much in your abs. And if you feel it a ton in your shoulders and not much in your abs, I want you to scoot your toes back a little bit. Good, and then from there, you can adjust how much you feel in your abs versus how much you feel in your shoulders, just by adjusting your foot position in relations to your elbows. So figure out that first distance. If your feet are too close, right, there's nowhere much for it to go without your butt being up. So you gotta get that butt down. Let's do about 8 more rocks. 8, 7, 6, 5. You should feel the intensity increase in your abs, especially when you rock back. 2, and 1. And remember, it's not just abs that are being worked when you do planks. It's also your shoulders, glutes, and all your core stabilizers. All right, what's next? Oh yeah, the legs. Going back to the alternating, but I'm gonna add the pulse. The pulse. I'm gonna add a pulse. Let's not start with the same leg. So I'm gonna start with my rear leg first. So you go back for 2, step forward for 2. Pulse, 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 pulse. Big long stride. If you step too close, see how my knees are kind of bending and not really able to get too low? We want to work our leg muscles, our glutes. And that's going to involve the proper stride length every time. Now, what happens when we add the pulse, right? That smaller range of motion at the lowest point, the greatest amount of exertion, adds extra work, extra load. So let's switch. So that was my back leg, so now I'm moving my front leg. It's my front leg that's actually really tired. Now it gets to move, so it's not going to get as tired. The leg that doesn't move is the stabilizer and generally feels more fatigue. Yeah, like I said, if you have dumbbells at home and you feel like using them, go for it. You can hold other objects like backpacks full of books or bricks. People have been getting really creative with during this pandemic with finding things to hold for extra resistance. Last pair. Thought I'd never get there. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, I know we're doing a lot of push-ups, but we're kind of limited in what we can do here. Push-ups are always nice. We're gonna do a push-up into a bird dog. So I think that's called a bird dog because it looks like a dog that found a bird. I'm not quite sure. But a bird dog is just that. The opposite limbs reach up. You don't have to do both. You can just do the leg. You can just do the arm. So what it looks like is this. You don't want your hands too wide because remember you'll feel less stable if your hands are too wide. So I do my tricep push-up. And I'm either going to lift the leg or I'm going to do a tricep push-up and lift opposing limbs. tricep. Good. I feel this quite intensely in my triceps, even though I'm on my knees. Why? Because I'm able to bend into my elbows to about 90 degrees. And I'm shifting my weight forward onto my arms. All right, so notice what happens if I drop my butt back. All the weight goes to my butt. So it's not going into my arms. So a lot of this is about technique. Shift your weight forward, keep your elbows tight to the body, and you will hit your triceps correctly. Yeah, if my elbows go out wide to the side like this, it's gonna be kind of tough on your wrist because your hands are narrow. So try to direct those elbows back towards your legs, towards your hips, hugging your rib cage. All right, let's do 2 more. Nice. And that actually kind of got into our core too, our spine stabilizers, our spine muscles, they work there. Okay, we're gonna do some obliques. So that's our rotation. Let's sit up. Now you'll notice that when you're sitting up, you don't really feel anything. And the more you lean back, the more your abs start to engage. If they weren't engaged, you'd be falling back down. So we're gonna add rotation. Rotate right and left. And then start to, your butt's glued. It's glued to the ground. There's no way it's moving. So your rotation around the spine, keeping your pelvis still. How'd that feel? We're not going to count too much numbers here, but you can determine how low you want to go, not until your lower back touches the ground. And then sit back up when you need a break. Now I'm going to have you add rotating punches. So if you've ever done cross-body punches, you're going to corner to corner to corner to corner. Good. And know that if you've ever taken kickboxing, your obliques are on fire when you do kickboxing because when you punch, your torso is constantly rotating. All right, if you're feeling okay, stay down with me for about 30 seconds. All right, hold it right here and constantly rotate and punch. 30 seconds. If you need a little break, you just sit up a little bit and then join back down. See if you can keep your feet on the ground. Anchor those heels. We have about 15 seconds. You can do it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Make sure you're rotating. It's not just arm movement. Look at my whole shoulder. Rotation, rotation, rotation. Oh, that's it. Whew. 30 seconds. That wasn't so bad. Okay. I don't often do plyometrics here, but you can totally keep it low impact. We're going to squats. And I'm going to cross it over. Squats and cross it over. All right, so this is the non-jumping version. This gets range of motion in your hips, right? Because your legs should be able to do this within your hips. And if you want to make it plyometric, nice soft landing though. So there's no squat when we're here. We're not going to squat like that, okay? Your legs are straight, then land in the squat, twist, and cross. So either version works. Of course, I didn't count any of these because that was our practice. So now we'll do 16. You can do jump, non-jump. I'm alternating which legs cross because if you're doing the non-jumping version, one leg crosses this way and then the other leg crosses when you go over, okay? 8 more. Soft landing. Everyone can jump, right? The safety problems come when you land improperly. So land by absorbing into the jump. Last 2. Last 1. Yeah, again. Not sure how many we did. Hopefully, your heart rate got up a little bit there. Upper body. We're going to keep our chest up. Yeah, we're doing a lot of triceps today. One inhibiting factor for doing push-ups is weakness of the triceps. So sometimes we can't do a push-up because our triceps are on the weaker side. Here's an option. Fingertips toward the butt, bend, and straighten. You want to bend the elbows so you can straighten it again. All right, that's with your butt on the ground. You can do the same thing with your butt off the ground. Bend the elbow, straighten. Do you see how the reason my butt is lowering to the ground is because my elbows are bending? Good. That's all it is. But we are going to do a pulse. So this is your full range. So you get your elbows bending to about 90 degrees, all the way straight. You notice that when you're straight, your arms aren't working as much. It's the process of straightening them that you work the triceps. As you lower into it, there's more load right here. So what's the hardest part of the tricep dip? Down here. Let's pulse it right here for 16. Bounce, 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 bounce. Very, very small. It's like your butt is just bouncing on a little trampoline, but it's really it's your elbows that are bouncing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So one of the tricks is when you don't have weights at home to increase the intensity, what you can do to increase the intensity is change the range of motion. All right, we're at 5:57, so we have just enough time to do one more set of abdominals and then do a quick stretch. All right, we're going to be on our butts again. And this time, instead of keeping our feet down, we're going to move our legs. I know your triceps are tired, but we're not using the triceps. We're just using the arms to support. You ride your bicycle here, keeping your knees bent. You can extend it a little more. All right, about 30 seconds of this. You can take your arms away. And final version, you take your arms high. All right, here we go, 30 seconds. Ride that bicycle. Got lots of options for your arms. Figure out what's challenging for you. The hands can be on the ground. We got 15 seconds. Keep breathing. So Whitney's probably drinking like this, drinking her water, martini, her corn pour, while she's doing her abs. Oh, 30 seconds. We're done. All right, let's do a quick stretch here. Whew. I always like this stretch. It's kind of a cross between butterfly, where your hips are open, and then you can focus on stretching one hamstring. Just reach that arm across and breathe. Most likely you want to do a little bit more stretching on your own after this. This is a 30-minute class, so I try to do predominantly more strengthening and a little less stretching, just due to the time. But the important stuff to stretch for sure is hamstrings, quads, hip flexors. Good. Stand on up. We got our quads. And if you have access to a wall, you can get into your chest stretch. So here's what I call multitasking. I have my chest and arm being stretched here while I am going into my quad stretch. And then flip around. So again, I have my hand on the wall and I'm turning away from the wall. I'm not turning towards the wall. And that gives you my stretch across my chest. Maybe you'll see it better this way. I don't know. Oh, gotta find my leg. And the nice thing is you don't have to worry about your balance when you're stretching your chest at the same time that you're stretching your quads. Thank you all so much for joining today. Hope you felt challenged. I hope you feel more powerful now. You're gonna feel a little more fatigued, obviously after a class, and you're gonna feel some soreness. That's all to be expected. That is why we are here. Thanks, Christina.